She said, I wasn't always this old, my grandson. She said, long ago, I was a little girl. I had a mother, I had a grandma, I had a grandpa. And they told me stories for me to pass down. So now I'm telling you, for you to pass down. She said, and tell the story of, her grandpa, his name was Siha-Opi. He was a warrior, Dakota warrior, when they were still in Minnesota. And her grandpa, Siha-Opi, that means shot in the foot, because he was shot in the foot by an arrow when they went to war against the Chippewas. And he was born in 1825. I did research on that in St. Paul Historical Society. And yeah, he was, I don't know how old he was when war broke out. But my grandma's dad, his name was John Blackshield Wachankasapa. And I think he was born in 1852 when they were still in Minnesota. But after they came here in 1867 or 1876, I think he was 17 years old when he went with Red, he's the chief. It wasn't Little Crow. It was a different chief that he came around here. He asked for volunteers. They went to join Sitting Bull. And my grandma's dad, he was only 17 then. And the Red Scarlet Tip or something like that. Inkpaduta, that was the chief's name. I think you've heard about him, he's in history. Inkpaduta. But he was a chief, he had a lot of Dakotas with him. And then when you look in the area around Little Bighorn, it has the campsites of Hunkpapa, Ogallala. The way on the east end was the assistant, Sisituan. That was Inkpaduta and his Dakotas. So that they were part of that too. And when that was over, they went with Sitting Bull to Canada, and they worked their way back. They came back this way. Same with Little Crow. Anyway, he was going back to Minnesota when someone recognized him, and they killed him. There was a bounty on him. They cut his head off, put it on a stick, and they brought it to St. Paul around there. Mankato, that's where that Dakota people lived around Mankato there. And that's where that war broke out. And my grandma, they were talking, they said, Witka kahuga ukichize. Witka is an egg. Kahuga means busted egg. Ukichize is a war. So the war of busted eggs. And what that meant was, when the war broke out, these four warriors, they went to a farmhouse and they were hungry, and they asked that farmer if he could spare anything to eat, and he took his gun and he kicked them off his porch, told them to leave. So they got as far as a chicken coop, and one of them he was gathering eggs, and they were going to eat them raw or something. Anyway, they came out, and that farmer seen them stealing eggs, so he started shooting at them, and he missed them, but pretty soon they were throwing those eggs at him. They opened fire and they killed him and his family. And that's where that war started, over broken eggs, stealing eggs and busting them. That's why they call it Witka Kahuga Okichize. And there, not too many people here know about that. But up around Sioux Valley, where there's a lot of elders, they know that that's what the war, Minnesota Uprising, was called the Busted Eggs War. So that's the story I heard from Grandma. And then in 7th grade, I started learning North Dakota history. I learned about Sibley and Sully and the Battle of Whitestone Hill and Killdeer. And that war started in Minnesota. So I was looking at that, and I thought, this is the Broken Egg War. I thought, I know about this, the Indian side, the Indian version. So those are things that I was taught, and I still remember to this day. And my grandma used to say, Tokata inicha hagecha. In the future, when you grow up, you see an orphan